welcome again to my channel. As usual, smiles. Okay, today we'll take a dive into a brief history of the World Wide Web. So please, before we continue this video, I'd like to make a humble appeal to you just to take one moment and hit the subscription button for me. It will only take a second, I promise. Don't forget also to hit the little bell icon to be sure to get notifications for my new videos. So that said and hopefully done, let's jump right into what we have for today. So the history of the internet came about due to the rise in the need for interconnection, interconnecting computers, and this drove computer scientists into research. So here's the breakdown for what we'll talk about today. Firstly, like I mentioned earlier, there was the pursuit to interconnect computers. This led to the ARPANET research contract in 1969, and in the early 1980s, the NSF National Science Foundation founded supercomputing centers at several universities in the United States. Commercial Internet Service Providers (ISPs) emerged in 1989, and finally, the World Wide Web. So let us move into this discussion for today. So in the 1960s, a need began to rise that computers could send and receive data from each other. This provoked a research for the interconnection of computers. So what is a computer network? It is a set of computers sharing resources located on or provided by network nodes. The computers use common communication protocols over digital interconnections to communicate with each other. These interconnections are made up of telecommunication network technologies based on physical wired, optical, and wireless radio frequencies methods that may be arranged in variety of topologies. Now, the United States collaborated with researchers from other countries like the UK and France to find ways to get things done, and this led to the ARPA. So ARPA means Advanced Research Project Agencies. In 1969, the ARPA agencies of the United States Department of Defense awarded contracts to the development of the ARPANET project, and the ARPANET project was directed by Robert Taylor and managed by Lawrence Roberts. ARPANET projects and international working groups led to the development of network protocols for inter-networking, in which multiple separate networks could be joined into a network of networks, just like in the diagram here, sharing of data, which provides various standards. So the ARPANET was the first project that created these standards. Two Americans, Bob Kahn and Vincent Cerf, they were the first to propose the Transmission Control Protocol (TCP) and the Internet Protocol as we all know it today. We all use Internet Protocol address as we know it as IP address. So these are the fundamental communication protocols at the heart of the Internet. Bob Kahn was an electronic engineer at ARPA, while Vint Cerf was recognized as the father of the Internet, who was from Stanford University. 1974. The Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol are the two protocols of the Internet Protocol suite. These two protocols were achieved. After this great achievement occurred, supercomputing centers were founded in universities in the 1980s. And in the early 1980s, the National Science Foundation (NSF) founded national supercomputing centers at several universities in the United States rather. This provided interconnectivity in 1986 with the NSF-NET project, thus creating network access to these supercomputer sites for researches and academic organizations in the United States. So this marked the beginning of the internet. So we started interconnectivity with really huge computers, and that was not so fast, as processors those days could only process little amount of data per byte. We grew from infant, and now we're processing trillions of data, more than we could ever imagine, and we're still growing. So later in 1989, internet service providers emerged. They were for short called ISPs, and this happened because of the demand from people to connect with their friends and relatives and loved ones. So the ISPs served as middlemen that provide internet services. The countries that provided these services were Australia and the United States. Well, unfortunately for our ARPANET, in 1990, the ARPANET was decommissioned. But this is not so heartbreaking because something spontaneous happened afterwards. The World Wide Web. Research began at CERN. CERN means European Organization for Nuclear Research in Switzerland by the British scientist Tim Berners-Lee in 1989 to 1990, and this resulted to the creation of the World Wide Web, the internet, the one on your browser and cell phones and smartwatches and etc. So basically what I'm saying is the fine man on the suit is the originator of the internet. Cheers to him for that. Moving on. Essentially what Tim Berners-Lee did was to link hypertext documents into an information system accessible from any node on the network. It is just like your basic website. You click on a link, it takes you to another page. In that year, there was a dramatic expansion of capacity of internet with the advent of wave division multiplexing. What is wave division multiplexing? It is a technology that allows bandwidth by allowing different data streams at different frequencies to be sent over a single optic fiber network. In the middle 1990s, the rollout of fiber optics cable had a revolutionary impact on a lot of things, ranging from culture, commerce, and technology. So this made possible for the rise of near instant communication by electronic mail, instant messaging, voice over internet protocol, telephone calls, video chats, and the World Wide Web with its discussion forums like blogs, social networking services, online shopping sites. The internet continues to grow, driven by a great amount of online information, commerce, entertainment, and social networking services. And with this, I bring you to the end of the video. Thanks for staying to the end. Please, finally, before exiting, if you haven't hit the subscription button and the notification bell, please do. Smiles.